For decades, a 600-ton locomotive that conquered mountains stood silent, its immense power locked away and slowly fading from memory. Designed in 1941 to haul impossible loads over daunting grades, it became little more than a monument. Then engineers dared to defy the impossible and bring it roaring back to life. Why did it vanish for 60 years? And what did it take to awaken this sleeping giant? The answer reshaped railroad history. It starts with the weight of loss. Retired from service in December 1961, Big Boy number 4014 arrived at the edge of the Pomona Fairgrounds just weeks later, its firebox cold for the first time in 2 decades. In January 1962, the locomotive took its place among the artifacts at the Rail Giants Museum, a silent giant surrounded by the hum of families, school groups, and curious onlookers. For many, the first sight of 4014 was overwhelming. Children craned their necks to see the top of the boiler, while older visitors traced their fingers along the battered steel, searching for a sense of the journeys it once made. The sheer scale of the engine, over 130 feet long and weighing nearly 600 tons, seemed almost out of place, a relic of unstoppable momentum now rooted in concrete and memory. Over the decades, the locomotive became a fixture at Pomona. Generations posed for photographs beside the drive wheels, and volunteers polished brass numbers that once thundered over mountain passes. Yet underneath the admiration lingered a quiet sadness. No matter how many visitors marveled at its size, the Big Boy remained motionless, its power locked away. Some wondered if a machine built for such purpose could ever truly belong in a museum. The question hung in the air. Was this monumental engine destined to be nothing more than a silent witness to its own past? Or could it ever be more than a memory? In 1941, the American Locomotive Company unveiled a machine unlike anything the rail world had seen. Union Pacific's Big Boy was built to conquer the steepest grades of the Rockies and the Wasatch, where lesser engines stalled under the weight of wartime freight. Measuring nearly 133 feet from coupler to coupler and tipping the scales at close to 600 tons, this was the largest steam locomotive ever put into regular service. The Big Boy's 488 four-wheel arrangement, with 4 leading wheels, 2 sets of 8 massive driving wheels, and 4 trailing wheels, gave it the balance and traction to haul trains over a mile-long up grades that once required 3 or 4 locomotives working in tandem. Inside the boiler, over 7,000 horsepower surged at the drawbar, enough force to move 3,600 tons up a mountain at speed. The sheer size of the firebox, the intricate web of pipes, and the articulated frame all spoke to a scale of engineering ambition rarely matched before or since. Only 25 Big Boys were ever built. Today, just 8 survive in any form, silent witnesses to a vanished era of American industry. Restoring a locomotive of this magnitude would not be a matter of simple repairs or fresh paint. Every system, from the boiler's riveted steel plates to the complex valve gear, would demand expertise and resources on a level few could muster. The Big Boy was designed for motion, not for preservation. Bringing it back to life would require a new kind of ambition, one that could match the vision of those original engineers. In July 2013, the future of Big Boy number 4014 was decided not in a workshop, but around a table. Union Pacific and the Southern California chapter of the Railway and Locomotive Historical Society reached a formal agreement. The locomotive would leave Pomona and return to the rails. The contract was more than a swap of machinery, and it was a test of priorities. For the museum board, the decision carried a heavy weight. Some members saw the transfer as a unique chance to see a Big Boy run again, a living monument to American engineering. Others struggled with the loss, describing 4014 as irreplaceable, an anchor for the museum's identity and a symbol for generations of visitors. Negotiations stretched for months, with letters and late-night calls laying bare the tension between preservation and progress. Union Pacific offered a diesel locomotive and a caboose in exchange, along with promises of future collaboration and increased public exposure for the museum. The Heritage Program at Union Pacific, meanwhile, saw the move as a rare opportunity to revive a machine that had spent decades gathering dust. Their commitment was clear. Big Boy number 4014 would not become a static relic, but a working ambassador for railroad history. With signatures in place, the legal transfer authorized the next phase, a physical move of unprecedented complexity. The paperwork was done. Now the challenge shifted from debate and compromise to the practical reality of moving 600 tons of steel out of a city lot and onto the main line. The stage was set for an operation that would demand as much determination and ingenuity as any run up the Wasatch grades. The extraction of Big Boy number 4014 from the heart of the Pomona Fairgrounds demanded a level of planning and precision few had ever attempted. Site engineers and rigging crews faced a challenge as immense as the locomotive itself: how to move 600 tons of steel across city pavement without the luxury of heavy lift cranes or direct rail access. The solution relied on ingenuity and relentless teamwork. Crews began by cutting the asphalt and laying out 40-foot sections of temporary track, each panel assembled and leveled by hand. As the locomotive rolled forward, the team leapfrogged these panels, lifting, repositioning, and aligning them again and again, sometimes more than 20 times for a single stretch. Every move required careful choreography. A Cat 988 loader, chained to the coupler, provided the brute force, while spotters watched for shifting ground and measured clearances down to the inch. Overnight, the operation unfolded like a slow-motion chess match. Each advance meant another round of excavation, another check for soft soil, another recalculation of weight distribution. The sheer mass of the engine meant that even a small misstep could damage both the locomotive and the ground beneath. Communication was constant, engineers calling out measurements, riggers signaling the loader operator, museum staff watching for any sign of trouble. By dawn, the Big Boy had crossed the parking lot and reached the mainline interchange, a feat that combined old-fashioned muscle with modern problem-solving. The leapfrog method, born out of necessity, became a testament to the crew's resourcefulness and the unwavering determination to see the engine move under its own weight once again. Inside the Cheyenne steam shop, the scale of Big Boy number 4014's restoration became clear with the first bolt turned. Crews began a methodical teardown in 2016, stripping away decades of dust and corrosion. Apprentices, machinists, and testing specialists worked side by side, cataloging every part. Non-destructive testing took center stage. Ultrasonic mapping revealed the true condition of the boiler shell and firebox, while magnetic particle inspection searched for hidden cracks in the steel. Each staybolt and weld was scrutinized for flaws that could threaten future operation. The drivers, those 8 massive sets of wheels, were sent off for precise reprofiling. Restoring their original contour after years of static display had left them out of round. Bearings and axle boxes, worn thin by age, were remachined or replaced. In the fabrication shop, lost components were recreated from scratch, guided by CAD models and archival blueprints. As the team debated metallurgy for new boiler plates, another challenge surfaced. The decision to convert the engine from coal to oil, driven by environmental and operational realities, meant redesigning the firebox and fuel systems for a new era. Every step demanded skill, patience, and a willingness to blend tradition with modern technology. With each test and repair, the Big Boy edged closer to the day it would once again face the pressure of a live boiler. On a cool morning in May 2019, steam curled skyward from Big Boy number 4014 for the first time in nearly 6 decades. Federal Railroad Administration inspectors stood by as the boiler came alive, their clipboards ready, every eye on the pressure gauges. The sound of the whistle echoed across the Cheyenne yard, drawing workers and onlookers out of nearby shops. When the locomotive eased forward under its own power, cheers broke out from the crowd. Mechanics, apprentices, and lifelong rail fans all swept up in the moment. The first public excursion followed days later, as number 4014 rolled out for Union Pacific's Golden Spike Anniversary Tour. Along the route, thousands gathered at crossings and small-town platforms, some traveling hundreds of miles to see the world's largest operating steam engine. Children hoisted onto parents' shoulders, retirees holding faded photos from the 1940s. Every face reflected awe and pride. For the restoration crew, the run was more than a technical triumph. It was proof that their years of labor, learning, and perseverance had revived not just a machine, but a tradition. Apprentices who had learned to set valves and machine bearings now found themselves at the center of a living legacy. Across the country, interest in vintage railroading and mechanical trades surged, with new faces joining heritage programs and workshops. Big Boy's return did more than move steel. It reignited a national fascination with the skills and spirit that built America's railroads. Today, Big Boy thunders across America once more. It is a living reminder that even lost giants can return when knowledge and willpower converge. As rail technology advances, preserving engineering triumphs like this shapes how we value innovation and history. Some machines refuse to fade quietly. Thanks for watching.